Just over a week ago, Wonderstorm released 12 teaser images for the Dragon Prince Season 5. I covered them in a rather long community post, and based on some feedback, I'm returning to them in a video format. At the end, I'll be trying to order them as well, so stick around for that too. I'll link my post and the website with the images down below, but without further ado, let's get started with a slightly more in-depth and more interesting analysis of these pictures. As we know, at the end of last season, Rayllum was given the coins that contained her parents and Runan in a trade between her and Claudia in exchange for Terry. In this picture, Rayla and Stella appear to be looking at one of them. While it's more likely that it's Runan or one of Rayla's parents, there is a fourth unknown coin. I believe this unknown person, likely to be an elf, to be the coin Rayla and Stella are looking at. If it were one of the other three, her expression would not be as neutral or confused, and instead be more upset. While not complete evidence on its own, the pouch isn't seen in this frame, nor can we see the face of who is in the coin. Believe it or not though, we know exactly where this place is, to the point of being in this room before. This is Viren's or maybe even Claudia's private chamber, recognizable by the spiral staircase at the back, blue crystal torches, and this thatched wooden wall on the right, all of which was clearly seen in Season 1, Episode 3. The handcuffs have likely been taken down from the ceiling where they've previously held Claudia, but I'm unsure regarding the 2 flasks of green liquid. Since they're in the castle, it does leave me a little confused on how they know they need to get to the sea if they don't immediately follow Claudia and co, but we'll come back to this later. Sticking with location, in the second picture we see old wooden floorboards. I'm hesitant to say they're on board a ship,
unless the storm catches us mid-bay and kills us all.
but I wouldn't rule it out completely. I think it's more likely that they're inside some room, as given by this crate in the top left. More importantly though, Callum, Ezran and Bait are standing in front of what appears to be a tidebound elf, and they seem super chill, which is a nice change from our typical Earthblood elf. I really love the small details of barnacles being added to the pauldron. In picture 3, we see Claudia and Terry carrying Viren through what looks like a swamp or marshland, and Claudia still has the Sunfire Elf staff. If you're not a big fan of the end credit sketches, you're likely a little confused. But in the sketches of episode 9 from the last season, Viren actually starts feeling unwell, presumably from his use of dark magic after being revived. So Sparklepuff seems to be missing, thankfully, but we do see him again in a later picture. It also definitely looks like we're moving towards that darker theme territory we've heard so much about, which I'm incredibly excited for. This picture doesn't give away too much, but I believe it to be of Janai and Amaya. Perhaps Janai has forged a new Sunforged blade or sword as a gift for Amaya. It does have a ceremonial flower with it, so they might be getting married this season. Oh dear, Rayllum arguing, awesome. So this is more reminiscent of Season 4. She has Runan's bow here, so it could have something to do with that, and Callum validly doesn't like the idea of her carrying around the weapon that likely killed his dad, similar to in the Through the Moon book. In saying that, Callum doesn't actually appear to be mad in any way, so he may have just done something wrong to annoy Rayla. As told by the caustics on the back wall, they are underwater by this point, so I think it'd be safe to put this in the middle of the season, right as they've entered ocean territory. This picture is an English teacher's dream with how metaphorical it is. Normal Viren, as opposed to Dark Viren, is falling into a void, reaching up to where he was as he falls from the power he once had, and Claudia surpasses him. I think we can all agree this is some kind of dream or at least mental game from Aaravos. The several sets of closed doors also emphasize the idea that he's running out of options and alternative directions to take. As mentioned with it being normal Viren, this is likely when he's quite conscious of the atrocious action he's made and is even losing himself to the darkness. I'll be bold and say that I think that this is DOMINA, the ocean dragon, who we've seen in previous promotional art, which is awesome, and also briefly in Season 4 already. I presume they're taking her to get to the middle of the sea. Not much else to mention here other than the fact that I'm super happy to see Soren and Corvus along for the journey. Amaya, Rayllum, Amaya, Rayla, Callum and creatures are in the ocean territory. Amaya, Rayla, Callum and creatures are in the ocean territory and look pretty shaken. Contrary to that though, not from an earthquake I don't think, because, well, there's a table that's entirely flipped, so perhaps a fight, but I'm not so sure. There seems to be a lot of books lying around, so Claudia and co might have been rummaging around this potential library looking for more information. They don't seem that concerned about battle or defending themselves, so it may have just been an external force. As we can see, Rayla has Runan's bow, or the arrows and hence the bow also, and Amaya on her left side has what appears to be the grip of a sword and a similar looking flower to before at the safe end of the sword. I'm also super curious as to what the rainbow flower looking things are with the gold crowns in the background. I thought they might have been guards or statues, but I can't really tell. So Karim is starting a cult, good stuff. Can this guy please just chill out? I really don't know what they could be looking at, but they seem to be underground with all the large cracks in the ground and how dark it is. Perhaps he's exploring with this friend of his the caves from Tears of the Kingdom.
You are our final hope.
This cute shot places us back in the Drakewood Forest, likely episode 1 or 2 due to how close they'd be following the last season. So Sparklepuff, Claudia, a massive Adorable, Terry and Viren off-screen are all here. The Sunfire Elves and Viren's staff can be seen off to the left, and Sir Sparklepuff looks like they're about to sneeze. I'd like to note that their horns seem to be cracked, although it could just be this angle, so I won't go too far into it. I know no one from Wonderstorm will see this, but guys, you gotta make this Adorable into a beanbag or some insane blush. People would buy them. Terry and Claudia seem to be on good terms here, which I find a tad surprising considering how there was quite a bit of tension between them after Claudia tricked Rayllum with the coins.
What's wrong?
I've seen you do a lot of awful things, but what you just did, the way you tricked that Moonshadow elf, it was just cruel.
Okay, so this picture reinforces the idea of picture 8 being a library of some sort, as this is definitely a library, just in the Sunfire Elves Kingdom. Since Stella is here, I'm hoping Rayllum is also in this scene, but we just can't see her in this shot. Callum, Bait, Stella and Kazzy seem to have just about opened every book under the sun. Hilarious. Looking for something. My guess would be the location of Aaravos, which will then lead them to the sea from some old text or map. It does, however, leave me confused about the journey there, though. Everyone seems a little concerned, if not disgruntled, except for Rayllum and Stella and Soren. And to agree with the tweet I've seen since these pictures were released, yeah, I'd let Rayllum kill me too. Interesting that Zim is joining them again, considering how that went down last time. Rayllum has Runan's bow again, very cool. Between Callum and Ezran there's a piece of wood, I think, but I'm hesitant to call this a boat. I feel like it might be more of a dock. Nonetheless, I think they're either at sea or just overlooking the sea. Right, so let's place these events in order. I'd say that this picture of Claudia and co in the Drakewood Forest is probably first, since they're already there from the last season. I'm really conflicted about whether they go to Luxoria before Catullus or the other way around, but I'll say this library one comes next, followed by Janai's gift. Then we'll likely go to Claudia and Terry carrying Viren, potentially alongside this door sequence. Up until this point it's likely been 3 or 4 episodes. Now, to be completely honest, this one of Karim could go anywhere, but I'll put it here since it needs to be somewhere near the start to cause a problem later on. We'll follow that up with the entire gang together, and then this one which I believe to be them riding on DOMINA. That leaves us with Rayllum getting angry with Callum, which could be swapped with this shot looking at the Tidebound elf, and lastly this shot with Amaya in the center. All of this would place us around episode 7 would be my guess, and it's clear to me that they've avoided anything that's clearly an end season event. In saying that, quite a few of these could be placed in different spots to where I put them, and they might be sooner or later. I'd be super interested to see how other fans of the show would lay out these shots, and I'm excited to see how incredibly incorrect I am once the season comes out. Again, if you'd like to look at all the images in full resolution, you can check out the page in the description. Also, if you liked the video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel, as it really does help me out. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.